Can we see Mike early land this jab right there that really knocked Jake back? I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But then we see
right to your left, so
the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot had it been on the chin. So Mike barely...
The truth behind the Jake Paul fight was just revealed by Mike Tyson, and it is indeed as dramatic as you might anticipate. When Mike enters the ring, his renownedly vicious hooks make him appear soft. Mike is the same guy who can break heavy bags while training with blows that sound like gunshots. You see, Maya, that legendary power, is in the mode of a friendly sparring partner.
You see Jake Paul land a beautiful jab with right hand first, right there, and knock Mike off balance 2 times. And Mike was highly off balance right there. I don't like how his legs look. Yeah, something wrong with the mouth gear.
That affects his oxygen intake, right?
Tyson's blows, which often cause opponents to reevaluate their life decisions, appeared more like friendly pats on Jake Paul's elder man, who, before memes existed, had made opponents into memes. Now, he couldn't get rid of a YouTuber with just 11 fights with dubious ease. Trust me, Tyson's explanation is more compelling than anything you've seen on X this week. He just lay it out.
Mike Tyson people talk to. There's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even, like, because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, he is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. You know, he's had a lot of blows. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation.
The voice of contemporary combat sports, Joe Rogan, was unreserved in his analysis of the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul spectacle on his podcast. Rogan praised Jake's young enthusiasm and developing abilities while marveling at how unbelievable it was to see a 58-year-old Tyson take on a YouTuber turned boxer. Tyson's reduced strength and quickness were too much for Rogan to overlook. That head movement is still present in Mike. But the punches weren't what they used to be, Rogan said. Finally, Rogan summarized. Even though Jake prevailed, it wasn't the unstoppable Mike Tyson that fans are accustomed to.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You know, you guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and, you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money. And he's like, you fucking... So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks again in the middle of Florida. And he's like, this fucking asshole says that, you know, he cares about me and everything else. I've been fighting since I was 12. And he throws me in the ocean with a bunch of sharks. He was right about that, too. But he basically said, I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this kid's going to do anything to me?
Dana White just acknowledged that Mike Tyson was correct and that he was completely mistaken. It's about the battle with Jake Paul. Astonishing, huh? He pleaded with Tyson not to fight Roy Jones because, well, he's too old, but for some reason, he didn't believe Jake Paul would defeat Tyson. However, Tyson only needed to show there, get his payment, and demonstrate once more that everyone benefits when Tyson is involved. He didn't even need to knock Paul out. The next time you sit down for a Netflix night, don't fool yourself into believing you're going to see the greatest live athletic event. You're simply witnessing a paycheck. Mike Tyson, who is over 60, boxed the entire system, not just Jake Paul.
The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago. Now this script has went viral. Let's see how accurate it was. The opening bell rings, Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, which actually happened. As soon as the bell went, Mike Tyson came out with that head movement, pushing forward. Immediately he stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style. Now let me just stop right there. Even before I sing this script, that's exactly what was going to happen? Like, what else would happen? Would Mike Tyson come out?
Jake Paul didn't knock Tyson out because he couldn't, not because he didn't try, but rather because it wouldn't be worth the risk to rush in on a 58-year-old who still knows how to counterpunch. We all wanted to see Tyson hit a great KO, but let's face it, this isn't the Tyson of the 1980s. Paul was content to win on points, play it safe, and put "I beat Mike Tyson" on his CV. Was the altercation prearranged? Not at all. If it was, they need better authors because there was no real drama or surprises in this screenplay. However, you may believe anything you want. In the meantime, boxing purists are sobbing into their vintage. Jake Paul has another victory in his record book, and Tyson has already made $20 million more. Surprisingly, some are referring to Mike Tyson's recent revelation about the Jake Paul fight as a glorified screenplay rather than a boxing competition. As if it were a badly scripted reality program, this leaked screenplay apparently revealed every punch, jab, and dramatic blunder. In round 1, Paul spends the time running about as if he's avoiding his tasks, while Tyson appears sporting his iconic bob and weave. A few of blows are delivered, but shockingly, Paul's youth puts him ahead. Tyson delivers a body punch in the second round that is so spectacular that the audience gasps in time. Paul, who supposedly runs marathons, bounces around as if exhaustion doesn't exist.
The ring cautiously, Tyson lands a few jabs, but Paul's youth shows in his superior ability. Paul connects with a quick 1-2 combination before retreating. Tyson's timing appears slightly off, his punches a fraction slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, cutting off the ring more effectively. He lands a thunderous left hook to Paul's body that draws a collective gasp from the crowd. Paul weathers the storm, using his reach advantage to pepper Tyson with long jab.
By the third round, Tyson's head movement slows down, and Paul is suddenly self-assured and throwing punches like he's been doing this for ages. Tyson appears worn out in round 4. The battle becomes a highlight reel for Jake's footwork as Paul makes clean blows. When the 10 count finally lands in round 5, Paul's combination is so well-timed that Tyson is knocked out. The audience is left wondering if they witnessed a fight or a Broadway production as Paul wins by knockout. Although Tyson did not explicitly state whether the match was fixed, it is obvious that there was less boxing and more stage theatrics.
Like I expected it to be.
What is your assessment of Jake Paul, the boxer?
A very good fighter.
Do you think he deserves respect from the public?
Absolutely. Hey, that was a good slap. I like that. Thank you.
The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation reportedly couldn't risk a genuine fight, so Mike Tyson and Jake Paul turned their match into a glorified sparring session. Tyson admitted it was more about entertaining fans than serious boxing, but what fans got felt lackluster. No knockdowns, no knockouts, just a tame game of tag. Tyson later revealed he intentionally carried Jake Paul to make him look good, a move that underscored the YouTuber-turned-boxer's limitations. Tyson had his reasons, though. Earlier in the year, he survived a near-death experience, losing half his blood and undergoing 8 transfusions. This health scare explained his toned-down performance, but it didn't sit well with fans who expected more from the legend. The match ended up feeling like a watered-down spectacle, leaving many questioning whether it was worth the hype or the price of admission. Everyone should boycott Paul until he fights someone who isn't entitled for a senior discount, Tony Bell said, calling it a circus. Javen Davis and Terrence Crawford also voiced their opinions, with Davis criticizing Paul A.B. Bozo for not finishing the 58-year-old Tyson. Nothing shouts legitimacy like jumping from one stage spectacle to another. So Paul, ever the showman, announced his joy at his victory and his desire to take on Tyson's brother next. Other than the fact that boxing is prepared to sell its soul for a paycheck, this battle didn't prove anything. Even though Tyson remains a legend, this bout was more reality TV than actual boxing, and Jake, the self-described problem child, has yet to meet a serious opponent.
I don't know what pleasure you can take from beating an old Mike Tyson. I
believe he actually won the first 2 rounds. Jake Paul probably won the rest of them. Mike Tyson's legs were gone, man. They were gone. And I believe Ryan, I got to give Ryan credit on this one, man. Because Ryan from Sports Wars, he did say that there would be like a no knockout clause.
Fans anticipated a nostalgic Tyson blitz, but instead got a glorified sparring session with Tyson bobbing and weaving for about 30 seconds before his legs waved the white flag. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is a masterpiece of absurdity, as it appears that the Pinnacle of Boxing now involves a 58-year-old legend facing the YouTuber-turned boxer. The 31-year-old Jake Paul prevailed in a bout that many people think was more tightly orchestrated than a Broadway production.
Good fight.
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. No. Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you can tell something was wrong with the Tyson leg, so he couldn't. His balance was off.
Oh, that's crazy. You noticed that. I just talked to his trainer and he told me that exact thing. Yeah. His balance was off.
The balance was off.
Yeah.
Critics cried scripted as leaked details uncannily mirrored the fight's play-by-play. Mike Tyson, once the epitome of raw power, seemed restrained, likely by contract, to avoid pummeling Jake Paul into oblivion. Even former champs like Evander Holyfield called out the farce, questioning if Tyson was set up to lose. Sure, Jake has some skills, but let's not mistake him for a boxing prodigy for outlasting a man old enough to be his dad. Netflix fueled the hype, but the fight itself fell flat, plagued by lagging streams and a dynamic resembling an awkward father-son backyard tussle. Tyson's fans, holding on to memories of his prime, had to endure watching their hero pull his punches and metaphorically bite his gloves. What was billed as a clash of icons felt more like a corporate cash grab, leaving boxing purists longing for a time when the sport hadn't traded its dignity for dollars.
He still might chase Jake around the ring like that.
Again, these are 2-minute rounds. Tyson requested the 2-minute rounds, wanting to see more action. He just landed the overhand right, testing the beard of Paul.
Here we see Mike early land this jab right there that really knocked Jake back. I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But there we see, the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot had it been on the chin. So Mike barely escaped that one.
Let's go!
I don't like Mike's legs at 58 though.
The first round he's won in more than 2 decades.
Yeah, I don't like Mike's legs.
What a bombshell. Mike Tyson has revealed the Jake Paul fiasco. Jake's father was crying, likely from laughter, when he revealed his grand plan to face Tyson. At 58, Tyson comes out firing, but let's face it, it's more for show than a knockout. Tyson asked for the 2-minute rounds. It seems that less cardio is associated with increased activity. Jake staggers about, throwing blows that, if Tyson had been made of foam, could have been fatal. Interview clip. Jake is acting as though he is battling Prime in the 3rd round. Spoiler alert for Tyson, he isn't. He throws a few jabs, knocks Mike off balance, and acts as like this isn't the sporting equivalent of a plot twist from a reality show. Reflexes don't lie. Everyone knows that Tyson is slower, even when he hits some left hooks to remind everyone of his identity. While Tyson appears to be battling the ghost from the 1980s, Jake throws gentle blows instead, despite Jake's corner's cries that he should use the jab to make this more Ali Frazier. Both boxers are seen hutting it out at the conclusion, as though this wasn't a well-planned money grab.